Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Coach Matt, EliteThrowsCoaching.com, Primal Athlete Training Center here in Cranston, Rhode Island. So before we get started, as we do every time we do one of these Technique Tuesday videos, it's been a week since the last one, which means even more spots have sold for our overnight camp at Allegheny College. Sign up soon if you want to go. The link is right down below. All right, now, today what we are talking about for Technique Tuesday is something much like, keeping your weight back or staying back behind the shot put. You hear a lot of coaches say that. Stay back behind the ball, and kids are like, I don't know what that means. And then you hear a lot of people that talk about, the block and blowing through your block and not having a block. And coaches and athletes that are like, I don't know what that means. Today we are talking about timing as it relates to what's going on in the back of the circle. Now, a lot of people talk about timing. Oh, I think there's something wrong with my timing at the front. I think there's something wrong with my timing in the middle. I think there's something wrong with my timing in the back. Now, a lot of people, they just say that, and I don't think they really know what that means. It's like the movie The Princess Bride when whatever the guy's name is was like, inconceivable. And he says, I don't think you know what that word really means. Pretty much the same thing when it comes to timing. I don't think you really know what that word really means. I don't think we're using it correctly. So we're going to try to kind of go over timing as it relates to the back of the circle. Now, when we talk about timing, we are talking about the relationship between your upper body and your lower body as it relates to what moves when. And we are also talking about when your body starts to move at certain points in the back. It's going to make a little bit more sense as I go through. It's hard to explain, easier to show. That's why we do things on video here at Elite Throws Coaching. So, when we set up in the back of the circle, we've talked about last week the positions that we want to get into. We talked about, posture, how to set our feet, kind of getting everything set up. So in the back of the circle, here's how I personally would start. I'd walk into the back, I'd set my feet about yay wide, take the discus, I do two little things on the right side, pull back, and then I go. So we showed you this already. Pivoting in the knee, drawing the discus back, and then from here, this is where you start to get low, stay low, low left and long, 9 o'clock drop, all that stuff that we talked about in the last video. The timing that everyone talks about is when you start moving your lower body in relation to when you are winding back your upper body. So a lot of times, we'll show you from the side, a lot of times what we see is this. The athlete will pull back, they'll get ready to go, and then at this point in your throw, this is where, when you are wound all the way back, this is where you need to start to move your lower body ahead of the upper body. Remember, the upper body and the lower body are in a race against each other. The lower body needs to win. There are ways to give your lower body the advantage, and the first advantage is by giving your lower body a head start out of the back. That's the timing that everyone seems to talk about. So as we pull back, now we're ready to go. At this point, this is when we start to push off the right foot, drive onto our left, stay nice and low, and go. Okay? Let me show you from a bunch of different angles. Pull back, go. Pull back and go. Pull back, go. Okay? Show you from behind. Pull back, go. So you can see what's happening. When the discus is 99% of the way back, we are accelerating our lower body ahead of the upper body. A lot of times what happens is this. You're standing on the side of the cage, person pulls back, then their upper body starts to unwind. The upper body starts to unwind even more, and then they start to move their lower body. We want to move the lower body. We want to push off this right foot. And we've talked about this in other videos. We've talked about it in these Technique Tuesday videos. All you have to do is search the channel and see what I'm talking about. But that pushing off the right foot needs to happen when you are all the way back. That way you accelerate in front of that discus. You accelerate in front of your right hand or your right arm. We talk about with my athletes the right hip running away from the right hand. You want to run away from it and create that stretch, create that torque. Give your lower body a head start. Don't let your upper body unwind and then move. You want to wind all the way and then start to go ahead of the arm. That is one part of the puzzle that is the timing in the back of the circle. The other timing that people seem to talk about a lot when it relates to the back of the circle is actually when to start their drive across the circle. We want to start the drive across the circle. We want to start to explode from that 9 o'clock drop position into zero support and drive down that circle, drive down that backward 7. We want to do that as quickly as possible. We do not want there to be a delay in that driving. Now, we talked about that last week with the kicking and the driving. We don't want to give any additional extra movement. We don't want to lengthen the amount of the race that the lower body is in versus the upper body. We want to give the lower body shortcuts. We want the race course to be shorter for the lower body, so we make it efficient. We push off the back of the circle, we get the hips around, we keep the right foot low, we stay low on the left leg, so we're in a great position to drive across that circle. Timing with the drive is extremely important. As long as you are pushing with that right foot, it all starts with the right foot. You're back all the way, and then it's right foot. The right foot starts to push, drive you into that left, stay low, left, and long. Now you can notice right here, here's the discus, here's my hip right there. Discus, hip. I have pushed my body ahead of the discus. My feet are lined up in a way like we showed last week where now I can just go. Let's see what happens if I don't turn my lower body first, and if I don't drive with my feet in the correct position. So let's say, for example, we turn out of the back, we go upper body first, so we open up and we go upper body first, then the foot, instead of the proper way of foot and then the upper body. Upper body first, then the foot, and when we turn, we try to make that question mark instead of the pizza slice. Let's see what happens. So we'll start it from here so everyone can see it. So the upper body starts to swing open, then we move the foot, and then the foot makes this big sweep. So now it takes too long, and what happens? Now the discus, instead of being back here, making the X and all the stuff that we've talked about, now the discus is too far ahead. Well, if it's too far ahead here, instead of being back, now we're way out in front of the hip. When we mirror turn, now the discus is here instead of there. So you can see how a mistake of timing in the back of the circle is going to snowball and compound and make a huge problem at the front. The way that we start is the way that we finish. Timing is very important. Hopefully this video explained a little bit about that timing, why it's so important to move the lower body first and let the upper body stay behind. Don't let the upper body move first. The lower body will never catch up. As soon as your hand is back all the way, that's when we start to move the lower body to accelerate in front of the upper body. Coming to the end of our Technique Tuesday series, we're going to wait until the summertime to do javelin when Coach Dan is back from his 5th year at UNC Charlotte. So what we're going to do until that time, maybe starting next week, depending on the questions that come in, we're going to answer a lot of frequently asked questions that I get, and we're going to try to help you guys out as much as possible for the end of your season. Talk to you all soon.